Hi everybody, I'm Rob Raybon and I'm going to show you how to replace your headlights with LED light bars. Why would you replace your headlights with LED light bars, you might ask? Because it looks badass. That's number one. Number two, it's going to be a lot brighter than the crappy headlights that you have in your Fox body or whatever car you're doing this on. Another reason is because they're on sale right now. I have a discount code below in the description and it'll save you 30% on pretty much everything that LEDMIRCY makes. This is a limited time sale, so if you want to take advantage of it, you might want to click fast and buy as soon as possible. I believe that the sale ends whenever I put that there. So for this install, you're going to need a couple Stay-Con connectors. We're going to use just some stuff that we have laying around and a couple hand tools, a drill, 3/8 drill bit, maybe a socket to remove the nuts on your old headlights, and maybe a basic knowledge of electricity. You don't have to be an electrical engineer or anything to install these. This is just going to be basic and quick, and it'll give you a good idea of what it'll look like on a Fox body at least that's rusty and has flares and wheels that change colors and a big loud exhaust. But let's get to it. If you haven't seen my Fox body, this is it. Here's the LED taillights. And I really just want something that goes with them a lot better than these, whatever these are. These are bad. I don't like these. So let's see what we got in our bag from Amazon.com. So when you get your package, it'll be a box inside of a bag. These are LED light bars. You can put these on Jeeps. They're probably mostly for off-road use. Let's see what we got here. These are from LEDMIRCY. They're a company that makes a lot of different products that are LED based. You can get rock lights for your Jeep. You can get light bars. You can get direct replacement lights for different vans and Jeeps. These come with brackets and they come with the lights. These lights are pretty well made. Looks like they're loaded with LEDs. I don't know how many LEDs are per light. Let's see, 2, 1. There's 20 main LED lights on this, and I think the centers have some LEDs in them too. It looks like this is going to be a direct 12-volt hookup. Here's another one. There's not much info on here. You might want to run a relay to power these. I'm not sure how much power they're actually going to consume, but we're going to try to just wire these directly with 12 volts. I didn't hit the camera again. These are really well made. It looks like it's an aluminum body. There's a couple of mounting nuts that kind of slide in the channel inside of the light. It was hard to find what kind of amperage you should fuse these with, but you always want to use a fuse with pretty much any kind of light or anything that you're putting on the car. You don't want to burn your car down. Usually LEDs don't need a lot of amperage, so we're going to use the factory fuse for the headlights. And I want to just take out the headlight and put this right in the spot where the headlight was, because like I said, these are kind of boring. I need blinkers. I'm going to keep the 2 outer lights. I just want to replace my headlight. But first, let's see how bright these things are. The old style headlights are not very bright. They never were. It always seemed like this was kind of a crappy setup. It's old technology, but it's not very bright at all. First thing you're going to want to do if you're doing this as a headlight replacement is to disconnect your factory headlights. We're going to take our new LED and just throw it right in the old harness. Ooh, man, they're f***ing hot. Don't burn yourself on headlights. They get really hot even though it was just on for 5 seconds. That was hot. Now that the headlights have cooled off and we're not concerned about burning ourselves, let's go ahead and try to disconnect this harness. Like so. So the factory headlights are going to have 2 different hot terminals. One's going to be for high beams, one's going to be for low beams. I need to figure out which one's which. I'm going to go ahead and strip our wires out a little bit more than what they are from the factory. And we got a couple electrical connectors that should plug right into the harness. These are just male electrical connectors that I kind of modified a little bit. They're not the right way to do this. They're crimped on. So, according to our multimeter, we have 11 volts DC, and our green is actually our negative. For our voltage for the LED bar, we're gonna go black to the green, and then we're gonna take our red to the red. Let's go ahead and turn the lights off, and plug these in, and then this should fire off or trip the circuit, and we'll have to replace the fuse. Let's find out. Wow, that's bright. That's really, really, really bright. Can't even look at it because it's so bright. Oh, just blinded myself. Let's turn these off temporarily. Another application I was thinking was put them in the rear window, kind of up high and facing backwards for when people are tailgating me in the skyline, which seems to happen a lot. If I put these in the rear window facing backwards, I can kind of high beam somebody. It wouldn't take much wiring, so maybe I'll do that eventually. I might do another video on these soon. With the 30% off deal that they got going on, maybe I'll buy another set of these and put them in the skyline and in the Fox. Maybe. Let's just stick with one goal at a time here though. So, when you go to take out Fox body headlights, it's kind of a pain in the ass. You're gonna need to get a socket back here. So the nuts in the back of the headlight are gonna be 7/16. I don't know if that's gonna be for every headlight on a Fox body, but mine are 7/16. They're really hard to get to, these nuts. They're not the best design Ford's ever done, not the worst design. These are actually hand tight, I think from when I messed with these last time, maybe from when the previous owner had them. And then the headlight should pop out. Yeah. As you can see, my Fox body has a pocket that's just chipped and discolored, and it's been repainted a couple times. So this is Plastidip and then some white paint. Who knows what all that's from. But let's try to mount up the LED light in that pocket and see how that goes. So the lights come with these brackets right here. Comes with 2 of these brackets. Comes with various hardware, a couple Allen screws, got this big bolt right here, some lock washers, another Allen screw, and it even comes with an Allen wrench, so you can tighten up the screws that go into this little bracket here. Now this bracket is curved. It looks like you can kind of mount it this way and then pan this around if you want, and it actually looks like this will work out well. So what I am thinking is we're going to mount these right here. With the included bracket, we can drill a hole right here, and then we get a lot of adjustability through the headlight right this way. So this channel will actually lock our bolt right in there, so we don't have to worry about holding that when we're getting ready to screw this up. Not screw this up, but you know what I mean. Then our nuts that are in the channel, we can go ahead, start these, keep them loose for now. Go ahead and catch the second one. Get those a little tight, just tight enough to where you can still slide it around. I think I'm gonna center these in the headlight pocket. So we're gonna drill a hole right about here. The hole is gonna be about a 3/8 hole. So if you got a drill bit that's 3/8, grab that. If you wanna get super precise, you can measure this difference and then go halfway across, but we're just gonna eyeball this for now. With the bracket being loose, we can adjust it left and right if we want to. And we can also adjust the angle of this. So let's just take it about here. Make our mark. And go back far enough to where the light's going to be a little recessed. The bracket is going to cause a little bit of space. That way you don't have to worry about your whip getting pinched. I'm going to go ahead and drill a hole here. Make sure you use a sharp drill bit, that way you don't plunge it through like that. It's going to just be fiberglass, plastic. So since we're not going to be able to adjust the angle once this is on, we're going to tighten these up enough to where they're snug. And we might be able to get a little bit more adjustment out of them once it's in place. If you want, you can adjust both of the lights the same before you mount this up. And there we go, our robot looking Mustang. Go ahead, do a side-by-side comparison of how bright the LED light bar is going to be compared to the regular old headlight. As you can see, it's not really a comparison at all. That thing is super bright. That thing is super red and just dull looking. And you can see on our door, the light bar is probably shining up a little bit too far, but we're just gonna run with that for now. See, the light bar just kind of overtakes the other one. With the headlights, we got it on just the low beam circuit. If we go high beam with the factory lights, you can see that it gets a little bit brighter over there, but still, it's nowhere near as bright as that light bar. Let's go ahead and do the other side. We're gonna make sure that this cools down before we go to take it out, because I did burn my hand on the other one after just 5 seconds. These LEDs though, they're nice and cool. Even though there's a heat sink built into the back of them, LEDs are always gonna run cooler and more efficient. It's one thing I love about LEDs. They're cooler, the light's more pleasing. It's a blue light instead of more of an orange one. This is actually kind of ghetto how I'm doing this. If you can find the right Stay-Cons to just stab into the factory harness, I recommend that. But if not, you can take these Harbor Freight ones, cut them in half, and then just stab these into the factory harness. Not the best way of doing this, but it does work. It's clean, quick, simple. You might have to worry about these bouncing out at some point. Not sure. So go ahead and strip these back a little bit more. Go ahead and prefab bracket number 2. Keep the first bolt loose, that way you can get into the other nut that's going to be sliding around. We can kind of eyeball where the bracket's positioned on the other light. If we need to adjust these, we can take it down pretty easy. We're not going to tighten this up too much. This headlight, because the previous owner didn't tighten it up, it actually melted through the housing. So the LEDs are actually a good remedy for this. Now, because I do want a little bit of symmetry, we are going to measure this side just to make sure our holes are kind of around in the same area. You can take a tape measure off of the fender to where this hole is drilled, and then off the front lip. I also slammed it against this little notch right here, and that is mirrored on this side, so it should transfer pretty easy. Don't mind all this. It's old paint and Plastidip. We're about 4 5/8 off the fender, about 3/4 of an inch off the front lip. If you want to use those same exact measurements, I'm cool with that. Whatever makes your life easier. The included nuts are going to be 13mm, in case you wanted to know. Because we're slammed up against this little notch right here, we're not going to get much adjustability as far as pointing these things left and right. We can move it over a bit if we want to, and then get a little bit more swing out of it, but for now we're just going to leave it like this. Then your harness on this side is going to be the same as the driver's side. You use the green and black as our negative, and our red as our positive. It's definitely that Mad Max look to them. Kind of wish they were a little bit bigger, but they put out so much light that it's really not necessary. They have a lot of different choices for LEDs, but I think that this is a really good balance of light output and size. The front end always needed something to set it apart a little bit, and I think these actually succeeded in doing that. I'm really liking how this front end looks now. The only thing I can think of to make it look more menacing is a blower through the hood, but I don't have money for that right now unless somebody wants to sponsor me with a blower through the hood. In that case, I'll cut a big ass hole through there. These turned out really good. I'm actually pretty happy with them. Like I said, if you want to do the same thing, they're 30% off right now through LEDMIRCY. There's a lot of links in the description below. Go ahead, check it out, buy some. If you need some rock lights or anything like that, they had those also. Now we're just gonna wait until it gets dark out, and I'm gonna take some night shots.